Let's continue with our analysis here at our studios at the National Results Operations Center. Dr. Imraan Buccus is our political analyst with us. And that, I think, for me is always the interesting story, Dr. Buccus, right? The ways in which these breakaway parties debut and what ultimately happens after that. I mean, we've seen the MK party start strong, but we've seen the story before with coal.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just a South African phenomenon, right? If we look through the African continent and you look at liberation movements that were in power and the parties that are there now, they generally break away from the party. If one looks, for example, at Zambia and you look at Kaunda's UNIP and you look at today Hichilema's party or the Patriotic Front, all of them are breakaways. If we look at Mozambique, you know, with the exception of Renamo, you have Frelimo, and then a number of them are breakaways. So yes, it's not uniquely South African, and they tend to get pushed to the periphery too, like liberation movements for other reasons, but breakaway parties also tend to get pushed to the periphery.
Yeah.
Well, you know, maybe the one exception is the EFF, which is going strong, but we'll see what the future holds.
Absolutely. Going strong, but witnessing electoral decline, at least from when the EFF started contesting elections to the last even local government elections that we saw in South Africa. With this in mind, then I suppose, you know, the obvious question is what we expect the MK party to do next, right? Again, very early stages, however, it is a strong start. Majority of the votes are yet to be counted. But even if at the end of this process, the MK party has a firm footing, I wonder whether we're able to ascertain yet whether they have the longevity to see this through, like the likes of the EFF.
Well, quite frankly, I don't think they have the longevity. The MK is built around kind of big man politics. It's built around Zuma. And I think, like we were talking earlier, this move towards authoritarian populism, I think poses a serious challenge to the democratic project, right? What we're seeing with Mackenzie's party in the Western Cape,
Patriotic Alliance,
Patriotic Alliance and MK, is also this insertion of a really ethnic dynamic into a provincial politics and a national politics, if you like. And that too is what we've seen in other parts of the world. But I think, Ayanda, you know, the huge failure in all of this is that it takes away from the structural makeup of a society, that the limitations in the society are projected at the ruling party. But very often they're also about neoliberalism. Right? The failure of the ruling party or the ANC has huge linkages to a neoliberal order. It's not able to deliver because it has such a huge reliance on the market. You know, post-apartheid politics, post-colonial politics are highly contested. They're contested by the market, and we're seeing this. And when you have the rise of MK or populist parties that kind of project themselves as the other, as the savior, in the context of unemployment, in the context of the cruelty of poverty, then they have this huge chance to do well because people turn to them as a kind of alternative.
Fascinating, and we'll see to what extent this particular moment in our country will see people clinging onto these alternatives, as it were. But for now, Dr. Imraan Buccus, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Thanks. Again, I imagine an opportunity to speak is definitely on the horizon as we continue making sense of where we are and where we are headed.